The Shoemaker's Splendid Lamp. Children's book by Tuula Pere. Summary. The shoemaker lives in a small cottage with his large family. Every day he toils away making boots so his family can eat. The shoemaker's sickly youngest son, Aron, often sits beside him. The doctor has warned the shoemaker that little Aron might not live long enough to see next summer. The shoemaker longs to make more shoes to feed his family, but the cottage gets so dark he must stop working before the sun goes down. One day, the shoemaker and Aron spot something at the market. A beautiful oil lamp. Can the splendid lamp help the shoemaker and save little Aron? Pages 2 and 3. In olden times, so long ago that your grandparents hadn't been born yet, a shoemaker lived in a small village. His cottage sat by a lake, the most beautiful spot in the entire neighborhood. But the shoemaker had many children, and bread was scarce. If nothing else, we have this lovely view. The shoemaker sighed and got back to his work by the window. His work demanded care and precision. Each stitch of his tiny needle had to find just the right spot in the leather. "When I make a pair of boots, they must be perfect," the shoemaker always said. The villagers knew they were lucky. A better shoemaker would be hard to find. Pages 4 and 5. One day, the shoemaker's wife went to the home of a wealthy neighbor to help the mistress with the rug weaving. All the older children were at school. That left only the shoemaker and little Aron at home in the dimly lit workroom. Aron had been ill all winter with a terrible cough. Each time Aron went into a severe fit of coughing, the shoemaker had to thump his son on the back. And each time the shoemaker's heart wrenched. He knew his son was in very poor health. "I will get stronger, father, you'll see," little Aron said, determined. "By hay time, we'll be able to go fishing together again." The shoemaker smiled at little Aron, but inside he heaved a heavy sigh. With such a bad cough, Aron was unlikely to survive the cold, dark winter. Pages 6 and 7. Each day, little Aron sat beside his father on his own little stool. He handed nails, thread, and needles to the shoemaker as he worked. And each day the workroom grew dark. The little lamp could no longer light the room. The shoemaker sighed and put down his needle and unfinished boots. "We need a proper lamp, father," Aron said. "You need more light to work, and I need a lamp too." "What do you need a lamp for?" the shoemaker asked curiously. "I overheard the doctor during his last visit," Aron replied. "He believes that I will not be here to see next summer, but with enough light I will recover, and by next summer we will go fishing together again." Pages 8 and 9. The shoemaker continued working through the dark autumn. Villagers bought new boots from him and had old ones repaired. One day, with his earnings in hand, he prepared to go to the Christmas market. The horse was ready and the sleigh was packed with food to eat along the way, and a sack full of boots for the shoe seller in town. The shoemaker straightened his old fur hat and glanced towards the cottage window. But to the shoemaker's surprise, Aron wasn't there. The little boy always waved farewell to his father from the window. Just then, the woolen blankets on the sleigh began to move. The little boy peeked out. "Please, father, take me with you," he pleaded. Pages 10 and 11. It took some time to talk Mother into letting Aron go. Now she stood nervously by the sleigh. "Don't forget to stay under the blankets. It's very cold, and your cough must not get worse, Aron," she said, frowning. The shoemaker and Aron reassured her again. Then they were off. Father and son had a jolly ride. They sang carols as they rode through the forest. Whenever a fit of coughing interrupted Aron's singing, the shoemaker fetched a lozenge from his pocket and gently stroked his son's cheek. "Everything's going to be all right, son," the shoemaker reassured him. "I have decided to buy a very bright lamp at the market." "How wonderful, Father!" Aron burst out. "With the light, I will see summer arrive." Pages 12 and 13. The market was crowded. The shoemaker and Aron delivered the boots to the shoe shop. Then they began to shop for a lamp. Aron tried to keep up with his father, looking around and admiring the lamps that hung from the stall's ceiling. There were lamps of every size and shape and color. Then one in the center of the stall caught Aron's eye. The lamp swung from a ceiling hook, its brass parts shining brightly. The rest of the lamp was porcelain, painted with beautiful roses. Aron pointed to the lamp. "Look, Father, with that one, our home would always be brightly lit." The shoemaker gazed at the lamp, thinking. He was a sensible man. Although this lamp was expensive, it was bright, and perhaps exactly the one they needed. "What a splendid lamp," he said to Aron. "Let's buy it." Pages 14 and 15. Back at home, the shoemaker carefully unpacked the oil lamp and hung it from the ceiling. Then he lit it. To his delight, golden beams lit up every corner of the room. Now the children would be able to do their homework and their chores. The shoemaker could work long into the night. Little Aron basked in the warm light from the lamp. For the first time in a long while, his chest felt warm and still. Yes, he would get better now. He was certain of that. Pages 16 and 17. One day, the wealthy neighbor paid a visit. He arrived at the shoemaker's house in his grand sleigh. "That's quite a lamp, shoemaker," the neighbor said. "But it doesn't suit your small cottage," he went on. "Sell it to me. You can certainly use the money for your family, and I will hang the splendid lamp from the ceiling of my parlor." The shoemaker shook his head, glancing quickly at Aron. "Thank you very much, neighbor. But we have many uses for the lamp. We are going to keep it." The wealthy neighbor looked surprised. "Now you refuse my offer, shoemaker, but mark my words, you'll change your mind. By early spring, when you are running out of bread for your family, you will take my money." With these words, the neighbor climbed back in his sleigh. Pages 18 and 19. By early spring, the weather was still very cold, and Aron became very ill again. His mother and father were beside themselves with worry. They were running out of money and lamp oil. The neighbor had recently come to their house again, asking if the shoemaker would finally sell him his splendid oil lamp. "I need it, Father," Aron had whispered. "Without its light, I will not see next summer." "It's not for sale," the shoemaker repeated to the neighbor. Once again, the neighbor stomped off. But this time, when he left the shoemaker's cottage, he was thinking about something else, too. Little Aron's feverish face. Pages 20 and 21. One night, shortly after the neighbor's visit, Aron's fever rose. His parents stayed awake, sitting by his bed. They took turns cooling Aron's forehead with a damp cloth, nervously watching their ill son toss and turn. The shoemaker looked at his wife as they heard a visitor step onto the porch and stomp snow from his boots. "It's our neighbor again. I'm sure of it," the shoemaker muttered. "With Aron so sick, he thinks I will finally relent and sell him the lamp." "You must tell him no again," the shoemaker's wife urged the shoemaker. "That lamp is our only hope." The shoemaker looked at his wife with a grim expression. What use is a beautiful lamp if there is no oil to light it? There was a knock on the door, and the shoemaker went to open it. It was indeed the wealthy neighbor again. Before the shoemaker could speak, the neighbor held up something. "I brought something for little Aron." The shoemaker blinked in surprise. "Lamp oil!" he cried. "Thank you!" Gratefully, the shoemaker took the oil, and Aron's eyes fluttered open. "Thank you," murmured the little boy. "Father, I'll be fine now. I promise." The little fellow soon fell asleep again. The shoemaker turned up the flame on the oil lamp, making it shine brightly inside the cottage. Pages 22 and 23. Around Easter time, the sun began to melt the snow. Little Aron sat on his stool by the window, helping the shoemaker. His fever was gone, and his cough came less frequently now. The oil lamp shined brightly every night, but with the sun now lighting the whole room, it was no longer needed during the day. The shoemaker hummed contentedly. One pair of boots after another got finished. One day, the shoemaker turned to Aron. "Now lift your feet so we can take measurements. My," he added as Aron obeyed. "How your feet have grown!" "You're making a pair of boots for me?" Aron asked in surprise. "My very own?" Up until now, he had always had to wear his brother's hand-me-downs. "Yes, a new pair of boots all your own," the shoemaker declared with a smile. Pages 24 and 25. By June, winter was only a memory. Little Aron was as healthy as his siblings and able to play with them outdoors. What he loved best of all, though, were the fishing trips with his father. Quiet and patient, he sat at the bow of the boat, keeping a close eye on his fishing line. At precisely the right moment, Aron would yank the rod up, just as his father had taught him. And yet another fine perch would wriggle in the air. "You're quite a fisherman, aren't you?" the father praised his son. "Yes," Aron replied happily. "And father, you're quite a shoemaker." You have listened. The Shoemaker's Splendid Lamp, a children's book by Dr. Tuula Pere, published by Wickwick. Read aloud by Jessica, Virtual Voices of Wickwick Labs.